I wanted to talk about the upcoming election and witchcraft. So, I'm going to be putting together a set of witch bells for a client. And while I do that, I'm going to share my thoughts and my experience on what I saw happen in 2020 with witchcraft and the election. In 2019, I was a part of many Facebook witch groups that were on, and by the end of 2020, I don't think I was a part of any of them. And what I witnessed was a lot of people who completely disregarded everybody else and believed the propaganda that was put out there from both parties, and more so because the witch community falls more towards the Democratic side. Uh, it became very hateful, and that wasn't something or an energy or the type of people that I felt comfortable with. I want to state right away that I'm an independent voter. I've voted Democrat and Republican, and I watch both sides of the aisle. And by 2020, there was so much propaganda from both sides that you didn't know who was telling the truth. I have stated in previous videos that I do not do witchcraft that will bend the will of anybody else. And so when this came up, where everybody was going to put this curse on President Trump and help make Joe Biden win, I immediately was not going to be a part of that for that very reason. Um, and this is going to be really controversial to a lot of people, but I believe that something like that, that is on such a grand scale, with so many people involved and so many lives, that this is something that only the gods should have control over. There was many of us older witches that saw this, and we commented and were bombarded by really hateful, mean comments, and I I just threw up my hands. I washed my hands with all of it and removed myself from every group. I think there was only two that didn't talk politics at that time. My beliefs are that when you put magic out there, that energy will return to its source. And so when I saw this happening, I knew that no matter what happened, uh, it wasn't going to be good. I witnessed large events of witches getting together to do this curse on Donald Trump, and many groups that did a ritual to help Joe Biden win. Now, there are a lot of witches that don't share the same beliefs as me, and this isn't for you. Do whatever you want. Like, you're the one that has to live with it, and you know right from wrong. So, I don't wish you any ill will. I'm just sharing my experience and the repercussions of what happened, and how this is something that could come up again. Many of the older witches had the same thinking as I, and many of them just reverted and left the situation alone, which I'm not going to do this time. I'm going to speak my mind, and I don't care who likes it or who doesn't. I kept waiting for someone to say, "Why would you do this?" And nobody did. And I was one of those people who didn't. And so I take full responsibility for that. And I won't live with that this time. So I'm going to share with you my thoughts on everyone that did black magic against the former president and did magic for the current administration. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. That is entirely your right to vote for whoever you want. But if you're going to do witchcraft, I feel like I should be able to say something since I've been practicing it for so many years. And I have many years of manipulation and propaganda by the election machine, by both parties. What I should have said then and what I'm going to say now is that you should not do any magic when it comes to a presidential race unless it is strictly to ask for the very best for everybody to be voted in. Because the truth is, both are lying and both are bad. So we want the best out of the two that we've got an option with, right? And we don't know what the best is because we are fed so many lies. And there were a lot of lies. And there's a lot of lies now from both parties, which is manipulative and intended on purpose. They play on our emotions, and that's exactly how they win. My suggestion is, and it's not to pick one or the other, but however you practice your magic, whether it's with uh, gods or elementals, however you practice it, is to ask for the one to win that will be best for our country and our world. Because then you are giving it to the gods and they'll make the final decision. But when you go and you do black magic and it affects millions of people, that's coming back on you. And if any of what I just said triggers you and upsets you, then you are coming from a place of ego, which means that you have been manipulated and you have fallen for the propaganda because we only want what's best for everybody, or at least that's what we should want. These last 4 years have been very difficult for a lot of people, and mostly for the people who needed help the most. And I believe that that magic had a lot to do with this, and that's why we're in the state that we are right now. Now, you don't have to believe me, and you can go ahead and do whatever you want. But I want you to think about that when you decide to go and manipulate millions of people's lives with your magic, because you will be held accountable, whether you believe that or not. And whether I like President Biden or not is irrelevant. The last year of what he's gone through medically and emotionally was completely unfair to him. I didn't do magic at the last election, but I intend to do it this time. And I will be doing exactly what I'm suggesting for you, and that is asking the gods to give us the best choice for everybody, not just a certain group of people or an outcome that I want selfishly. And believe me, I have my selfish reasons to want to do magic for a particular president. But I'm not going to do that. I am going to do what's best for the entire country, for the world. And unless you feel that same way, then you are strictly doing this for selfish ego reasons, and it will have repercussions. I have full faith in the gods that I work with, and I know that they will give the best person for the role, whether I like the answer or not. But if you're going to manipulate energy and you are going to cause a disruption in what is supposed to be, then you have a very, very long life to live ahead of you because you are taking on the responsibility of God and deciding for yourself that you know better. And that is not any place that I wish anybody to be in. I remember back in 2020, an older witch had mentioned, don't worry, everything will be fine. These young witches just don't know. And it'll work out the way it's supposed to. And I don't believe it did. I don't believe it did at all. And I'm not advocating for President Trump to be president. I'm just saying that I don't think that that election turned out the way it was supposed to. Now, my words may cause people to unfollow, and I don't care anymore. If you don't see this, then you aren't practicing magic in a way that I want you to be in my life anyway. So it's fine with me if you disconnect. I'll be okay. But I implore you to at least think about what I'm saying to you, because you have no idea what you're playing with if you go ahead and do magic that's going to manipulate the election. So the choice is yours, but at least I know that I did my part and I shared my perspective on what I've seen and what is happening. And I didn't stay silent this time because my love for everybody is more important than getting what I want. And being a witch has a lot of responsibility. I know today, after all the healing that I've done on myself, that dark has to be included with the light. But that doesn't mean that I have to participate in the dark anymore. Because, like it or not, the light will always win. So, as you move closer to this election, please be mindful and really think about what I said. And the rest, that's on you. Just like doing this video is on me. And I am able to sleep at night because I know that I am doing the right thing, whether you like it or not. Stay blessed and be careful. What you wish for, you just might get it. When I accepted the position to be a crone, I was told that I would be protected, but I couldn't be afraid to share what I know and what I think. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm keeping my word, and I know that my gods will keep theirs.